souvenir book that came out that year. And the guests, C.C. Beck, Robert A. Heinlein, Carl Barks, Alex Nino, Leslie Gabarga, Stan Line, B. Kleban, Alfredo Alcala, Joe Schuster, Trina Robbins, Russ Manning, Harvey Kurtzman, Walter Gibson, Ralph Bakshi, Bob Kane, Jim Steranko, Forrest J. Ackerman, Bill Scott, Joe Kubert, Roy Thomas, and then in the people who will also be here, Sergio Aragonis, Frank Brunner, Ernie Chan, Bob Clampett, Patrick Culleton, Mark Evanier, Jude Foray, Mike Friedrich, Rick Griffin, Jim Harmon, George Clayton Johnson, Michael Kaluta, Jack Katz, Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, Byron Price, Don Rico, Stanley Ralph Ross, Scott Shaw, Theodore Sturgeon, Larry Todd. So that is just, I think he was 78. So anyway, imagine an event at a hotel where all of those people are there and more, and you're just hanging out with them. I mean, that was the El Cortez in our mind. It was a hotel that had a crosswalk that went over across the street to a convention area. That's where the exhibit hall was and the programming rooms. Then the hotel proper had something called the Dawn Room, which was sometimes the art show, sometimes had other events in it. And then the central area was a pool that people would hang around at night. But I'm going to start things off with a bang and ask Clayton to tell us about the time he climbed up the outside of the El Cortez Hotel.
Well, I guess the statute of limitations is expired on this now. It's about the same. Well, I've been to Comic-Con since 1972, and I was a teenager when I first came, and newly arrived in San Diego from up north. And I've come to the con every year, like most of the rest of us, and this must have been around this year, in 1977. I was up late one Saturday night, and I'd seen this Clint Eastwood movie called The Iger Sanction, you know, where he's a mountain climber, and good old Clint would go out there and do all his own stunts, and there's the scene of him climbing hand over this canyon, you know. I figured, okay, you know, I've been all over the inside of the El Cortez, one way or the other, working for the con and stuff. I was out late one night, and I was up early the next morning. It was like 5 a.m. and there was nobody else up. And so I went down by the pool, and I was kicking back by the pool, and I was watching the sun come up, and looking up at the tower with the words El Cortez Hotel up there, you know. Just like King Kong, I was wondering, well, what's it like up there? I wasn't disturbing anybody, so I went up as high as the elevator would go, and there was a bar at the top, right? I was too young to go to the bar, but it was up there. And you go down the hall, and there was a window, and you can open the window, and there's a fire escape. And on the fire escape, well, okay, everything I do when it comes to stunt work has to be safe. You know, one step out, I got to be able to do it twice. You know, I'm not like these other guys, you know, you got to be able to repeat it. So, you climb up the fire escape, and then up the fire escape there was another level, and I've been up on rooftops before, so there was a level, and then you go up a ladder, and there was another level, and pretty soon you're at the top. And there's the El Cortez sign over the park, and there's the El Cortez sign over the city. And you can walk over to the E and the L in hotel and look through them and look down at the lobby, which is, I don't know, maybe 14 floors down. And this great glass elevator used to rise up and down the outside of the El Cortez. My family vacationed there before Comic-Con ever happened, and we used to ride the elevator a lot. There's a beautiful view of the harbor, which is now blocked by our many impressive skyscrapers. And so I was up there and looked around, and it was fine, it was all good, and came back down and closed the window and had breakfast and went on about my day. And word got around, you know, and somebody dared me to do this on another occasion, and they made a wager on it. So, okay, you know, being sporting about it, was a Saturday afternoon, and there were about 5 or 6 people clustered down in front of the lobby, and it took me about half an hour to get to the top. But I got up there and waved and made sure they saw me and pointed and, you know, never collected on my wager, but that's okay. You know, that's the point, is to climb with them one step at a time and safe everywhere.
How much was the wager for?
I'm a little embarrassed to admit it was an entire quarter. Yeah, you know.